The importance of follow-up. What's up, everybody? This is Kevin Daisy here. So follow-up is super important when it comes to running your business, sales, clients, whatever you do, follow-up is super important. And I think most of us know that following up with a client or following up with a task or an employee about work they're doing, I think we know that's important, and then we have to do that. Having systems in place for it is another story. Now, going to sales, I would think most salespeople listening or tuning in that, if you have someone that's a hand raiser, a lead, a prospect, whatever, someone that was a cold call and they're somewhat interested, that you're going to follow up with that person at least a few times. So I think the difference is, though, is how important follow-up is and how frequent you should be following up. What's the frequency? How often? And so I think that's where everyone falls short. I know that's something we never had a plan in place to do and never really did, is the amount of follow-up that it really takes to get the job done. I've never wanted to bother people. You don't want to call them every day and bug them every day. You feel like you're pressuring them. So really, you got to look at ways to follow up, get creative, but you have to be following up and you have to be doing it in different ways. And you have to do it a lot. So the statistics are that 80% of sales are made between the 5th and 12th follow-up. So if you're only following up 2 times, 1 time, maybe 3 times, then you're missing 80% of the chances. So we have to follow up more than a few times. We also have to get creative and make sure that we're not following up the same thing every single time. And so that's where it gets difficult. Hey, I'm just checking in. And that's what we all default to. Hey, it's been a week. I haven't heard from you. I just was checking in to see. And they've already made a decision at that point half the time. They had someone that maybe sold them harder, pushed them a little harder to make the decision that they needed to make, and they did. And so now when you go to follow back up next week, they say, oh, I've already went with someone. We hear this all the time. So you have to follow up every single day, different ways. Maybe you send them an article, maybe you send them a video, send them a text, send them an email, call them, send them a handwritten card. You need to figure out a way that you can follow up to be different and not just selling every single time or just checking to see if they decided yet. So we have to have better ways of following up, and you have to work into your systems of a good way you can do it. You also have to have a cadence in your plans with tasking, a CRM, because if you're going to follow up with a client, say 20 times over the next 20 days, but you have 100 clients or prospects in your pipeline, that becomes overwhelming. So you have to have a process, use a CRM, use some tasking, but start following up more with your prospects, and you should see a huge, huge difference. So follow up is super important in all aspects of your business. So make sure you're following up.
Hey there, it's Erik J. Olson. I wanted to let you know about my book, $1 Million Journey, How to Launch a 7-Figure Business. This is the story of what it took for me to go from freelancer with no clients, no employees, no revenue, to growing a $1 million business. It took me 8 years, and I made a lot of mistakes. And all of those mistakes, and more importantly, lessons learned, are in this book. And we have chapter takeaways, 5 to 15 takeaways that you can apply right now to your business. Check it out on Amazon, $1 Million Journey by me, Erik J. Olson.